The Galactic Empire was the most powerful force in the galaxy. They had hundreds of planets under their control and armies that could wipe out civilizations in days. Their fleet of warships was so large that when they moved across space, they darkened the skies of entire planets. The Empire's leaders believed no one could challenge their might. But there was one planet they hadn't conquered yet: Earth. For years, Earth had been ignored by the Galactic Empire. It was seen as a small, underdeveloped world with little to offer. The people of Earth were considered weak, and their technology was laughable compared to the advanced machines and weapons of the Empire. To the leaders of the Galactic Empire, Earth was not even worth noticing. But recently there had been rumors, whispers of something hidden on Earth, something powerful. These rumors reached the highest ranks of the Empire, and they decided it was time to act. Emperor Zarkon, the ruthless ruler of the Empire, sat on his massive throne made of alien bones, his eyes glowing with greed. He had been hearing more and more about Earth. Reports had come in that Earth was building its defenses, but the Empire's spies had not discovered the full extent of these preparations. Zarkon was not worried. He saw Earth as just another planet to crush under his boot. But the rumors of Earth's secret weapon intrigued him. If Earth really had something powerful hidden away, Zarkon wanted it for himself. "We will invade Earth," Zarkon declared to his council. "They will bow to the Empire or they will be destroyed." The Galactic Empire's plan was simple: send a massive fleet of warships to Earth, overwhelm the planet's defenses, and force them to surrender. If Earth fought back, the Empire would unleash its full power and turn the planet into ashes. Zarkon was confident that no human force could stand against the might of the Empire. His commanders and advisors nodded in agreement. None of them believed Earth had any chance. The fleet was assembled in just a few days. Thousands of warships lined up in perfect formation, ready to strike. These ships were armed with the deadliest weapons in the galaxy: lasers that could slice through planets, missiles that could destroy entire continents, and shields that made them nearly indestructible. The Empire had used these ships to conquer countless worlds, and now they were aimed at Earth. On board the command ship, General Tharn, the Empire's most feared military leader, prepared his soldiers. Tharn was a towering figure, known for his brutal tactics and zero tolerance for failure. He didn't expect much of a fight from Earth, but he was ready to crush any resistance. His orders were clear: take control of Earth, find out what they were hiding, and bring it back to the Emperor. As the fleet began its journey toward Earth, the people of the Galactic Empire celebrated. They cheered for their unbeatable army and looked forward to adding another planet to their growing empire. Little did they know, Earth had a secret that would soon change everything. While the Galactic Empire prepared to invade Earth, the people of Earth had their own secret plan. For many years, Earth had quietly been developing advanced technologies, hiding their progress from the eyes of the galaxy. The leaders of Earth knew that one day a great power would come for them, and they had prepared for that day with care. Deep beneath the ocean, in a place so remote that even Earth's own citizens didn't know about it, they had built their ultimate weapon, a massive supercarrier unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. This supercarrier wasn't just a ship, it was a floating fortress. The size of a small city, it had been hidden beneath the ocean's depths for over a decade, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The ship had its own fleet of powerful drones, advanced fighter jets, and weapons capable of destroying entire fleets. But what made the supercarrier truly dangerous wasn't just its size or power, it was the technology inside. Earth's scientists had worked in secret, using alien technology recovered from mysterious space debris and crashes to create something the Galactic Empire could never imagine. Inside the supercarrier, thousands of soldiers and engineers worked around the clock. The ship's captain, Commander Rhea, was one of Earth's most experienced military leaders. She had been chosen to lead the supercarrier years ago, knowing that one day she would have to use it to protect Earth. For years, she had waited patiently, training her crew, testing the ship's systems, and preparing for the moment when they would be called to action. That moment was now. Earth's leaders had received word of the Galactic Empire's approaching fleet. The news spread panic across the planet. Many feared that Earth would be destroyed, believing that there was no way to defend against the Empire's powerful warships. But the secret military leaders knew better. They knew about the Supercarrier, and they knew that Earth wasn't as helpless as the rest of the galaxy believed. "We've kept this hidden long enough," Commander Rhea said to her crew as the alert came in. "It's time to show the galaxy what Earth is really capable of." The Supercarrier began its activation process. Deep under the ocean, massive turbines roared to life and the ship's engines started to hum. Slowly, the ocean around the carrier began to bubble and churn as the ship prepared to surface. From above, no one could tell that beneath the waves a giant was about to rise. As the Supercarrier started its ascent, Earth's defense forces around the globe were alerted. Smaller ships and fighter jets scrambled to prepare for battle, knowing that they would only need to hold the Empire off for a short time. The Supercarrier was their real weapon, their trump card. It had the firepower to destroy entire fleets, but it needed to stay hidden until the perfect moment. As the Supercarrier rose from the depths of the ocean, its towering silhouette broke through the water, gleaming in the sunlight. It was ready for battle, and Earth's secret weapon was about to change the course of galactic history forever. The skies above Earth darkened as the Galactic Empire's fleet arrived. Thousands of warships descended, casting enormous shadows over the cities and oceans below. The people of Earth looked up in fear and awe. The sheer size of the invading fleet was overwhelming. Earth had never seen anything like it. The Galactic Empire had sent their best warships, armed with the most powerful weapons in the galaxy, and their goal was simple: total domination. On board the command ship, General Tharn, the Empire's ruthless leader, watched with a cold smile. He had led dozens of invasions before, each one a success, and he saw no reason why Earth would be any different. His fleet spread out, surrounding the planet like a cage, blocking any escape routes. From orbit, he could see Earth's defense forces scrambling to react. Small Earth ships took to the skies, brave but outmatched. Tharn barely paid them any attention. "Let's begin," Tharn ordered. His fleet unleashed a massive barrage of energy blasts, targeting Earth's defense satellites and communication systems. Within minutes, Earth's global network was disrupted. Satellites exploded in the sky, and the planet's defense systems went dark. The first wave of the invasion had begun. On Earth, panic spread quickly. Governments struggled to maintain order as power grids failed and communication lines went silent. In the streets, people ran in fear, unsure of what was happening. The Empire's warships moved closer, their weapons charging for a second, more devastating strike. It looked like Earth's fate was sealed. But hidden beneath the surface of the ocean, the Supercarrier remained silent, waiting for its moment. In the middle of the chaos, Earth's small defense ships launched their counterattack. Dozens of fighter jets and smaller military vessels flew into the sky, heading straight for the Empire's massive fleet. The Earth pilots were brave, but their ships were no match for the Empire's technology. Within moments, the first wave of Earth's defense was obliterated. Ships exploded in the air, crashing down to the ground in fiery wrecks. The Galactic Empire's warships barely took any damage. Their shields easily deflected the attacks, and their advanced weapons tore through Earth's defenses like paper. General Tharn watched in satisfaction as the small human ships were destroyed one after another. To him, this was just another easy victory. "They're weaker than I thought," Tharn sneered.
"Crush them!"
But Earth's leaders were not giving up so easily. In secret bunkers, military commanders watched the invasion unfold. They knew their smaller ships could only hold off the Empire for a short time, but that was all they needed. The real weapon, Earth's hidden Supercarrier, was preparing for its reveal. As the Empire's ships drew closer to Earth's major cities, alarms began to sound across the hidden Supercarrier. Deep below the ocean, its engines powered up, and its massive guns locked onto the approaching fleet. Commander Rhea stood on the bridge of the Supercarrier, her face calm but focused. "Let them come closer," she ordered. "We'll make our move when they least expect it." The invasion had begun, but the battle was far from over. Earth had one last trick up its sleeve, and the Galactic Empire was about to learn that they had severely underestimated their target. The Galactic Empire's warships hovered ominously above Earth's major cities, preparing to deliver the final blow. On the ground, chaos reigned as civilians scrambled for shelter, fearing the worst. Earth's smaller defense ships had been mostly destroyed, and the planet's remaining forces were spread thin, trying desperately to hold off the massive invasion. It seemed like Earth had no chance until something began to stir deep beneath the ocean. Hidden under the waves, Earth's secret weapon, the Supercarrier, was coming to life. Commander Rhea stood on the bridge of the enormous ship, her eyes fixed on the control screens in front of her. The crew worked in tense silence, their hands flying across the controls as they prepared the Supercarrier for battle. Rhea had trained for this moment for years, but even she could feel the weight of what was about to happen. Earth was depending on them now. The ship's engines roared to life, sending massive bubbles to the surface of the ocean. The water around the Supercarrier churned violently as the giant vessel began to rise from its hidden base beneath the sea. On the surface, the waves suddenly parted, and the Supercarrier broke through, its towering silhouette gleaming in the sunlight. The Galactic Empire's warships, still focused on Earth's cities, didn't notice the rising threat at first. But soon, scanners aboard the Empire's ships began to pick up the massive energy readings coming from the ocean. "What is that?" one of General Tharn's officers asked in disbelief, staring at the monitor. Tharn's cold smile disappeared as he saw the readings. "Focus all sensors on that location," he ordered sharply. The images that came back stunned him and his crew. A massive ship, larger than anything the Empire had ever seen, was rising from the ocean. Its size dwarfed even the Empire's largest warships, and it was bristling with weapons they had never encountered before. The Supercarrier emerged fully from the water, its sleek, metallic hull reflecting the sunlight. It was a sight to behold, an unstoppable fortress of human ingenuity and power. Earth's hidden ace had finally revealed itself, and it was ready for battle. On board the Supercarrier, Commander Rhea stood tall, her voice steady as she gave the command. "Activate all systems. Lock onto the lead ship of the enemy fleet." The crew moved quickly, and the Supercarrier's massive guns shifted into position. In seconds, the target was locked. Rhea watched as the targeting system blinked red, signaling they were ready to fire. Fire! A blinding beam of energy shot from the Supercarrier's main cannon, cutting through the sky like a spear of light. The Galactic Empire's lead ship didn't stand a chance. The beam hit the ship with incredible force, tearing through its shields as if they didn't exist. In an instant, the Empire's massive warship exploded in a ball of fire and debris, sending shockwaves through the air. General Tharn watched in horror as his fleet's flagship was obliterated in seconds. He had never seen such power before. His confidence turned to panic as the Supercarrier continued to rise, its weapons aimed at the rest of his fleet. "This is impossible!" Tharn shouted, but the reality was undeniable. Earth had unleashed a weapon far beyond what the Galactic Empire had expected. As the Supercarrier soared above the ocean, it became clear to both sides that the battle had shifted. Earth's secret weapon had arrived, and the Galactic Empire was now on the defensive. The Galactic Empire's warships, once confident and unchallenged, now hesitated in the skies above Earth. The destruction of their lead ship by Earth's Supercarrier had sent a shockwave of fear through the fleet. This was no longer the easy victory they had expected. Earth had proven it was not defenseless, and now the true battle was about to begin. Commander Rhea stood on the bridge of the Supercarrier, calm and focused. Her crew moved with precision, checking weapon systems and preparing for the fight ahead. On her screen, the Empire's fleet was regrouping, trying to adjust to this unexpected threat. But Rhea knew they were still reeling from the surprise. Now was the time to strike. "All weapons online," the weapons officer reported. "Good," Rhea replied. "Target the nearest warship and fire." The Supercarrier's main cannons unleashed another massive blast of energy. The beam shot through the sky, hitting one of the Empire's smaller cruisers. The ship's shields flickered for a moment before collapsing under the force of the attack. In seconds, the cruiser exploded into a fiery ball of wreckage, falling toward the ocean below. But the Galactic Empire was not going to fall so easily. Despite their shock, they were a seasoned military force, and they quickly regrouped. Several warships broke off from the main fleet, circling around the Supercarrier to try to flank it. The Empire's fighters swarmed like angry bees, speeding toward the Supercarrier, their weapons ready to fire. "Enemy fighters incoming!" one of the officers shouted. Rhea didn't flinch. "Deploy the drones." The Supercarrier's hidden compartments opened, and hundreds of small, agile drones shot out, flying in formation. These drones, equipped with advanced targeting systems and powerful weapons, engaged the Empire's fighters in mid-air. The sky lit up with explosions as the drones and enemy ships clashed in a furious dogfight. The Empire's fighters were fast, but Earth's drones were faster. The drones moved with incredible speed and precision, outmaneuvering their enemies at every turn. In moments, dozens of enemy fighters were torn apart by the drones' rapid-fire weapons. The rest tried to retreat, but the drones pursued them relentlessly. Meanwhile, the larger warships of the Empire continued their attack. Their massive energy cannons fired at the Supercarrier, hoping to break through its shields. Explosions rocked the ship as the Empire's weapons hit, but the Supercarrier's advanced shield systems absorbed the damage, protecting the vessel from harm. Rhea watched the battle unfold, her mind racing with strategies. The Empire still had the numbers advantage, but the Supercarrier had the firepower to change the tide. She needed to strike at their most critical points. "Focus all fire on their command ship," Rhea ordered. "Take it down and the rest will fall apart." The Supercarrier's guns turned toward the heart of the Empire's fleet. The command ship was heavily armored, but Rhea knew that if they could take it out, the Empire would lose its leadership and coordination. "Fire!" The Supercarrier unleashed its full power. Beams of energy and missile volleys shot toward the command ship. The Empire's flagship tried to fight back, but it was no match for the overwhelming firepower. The ship's shields collapsed, and moments later, a massive explosion erupted from the command deck. The Empire's flagship was destroyed. Cheers erupted on the bridge of the Supercarrier, but Rhea remained focused. "The battle isn't over yet," she said. "Keep pushing. We need to drive them out of Earth's orbit." The first battle was won, but the war was far from over. Earth had made its stand, and the Galactic Empire now knew they were facing a force unlike any they had ever encountered. The Galactic Empire's once formidable fleet now faced a dire situation. After the shocking appearance of Earth's Supercarrier and the loss of their command ship, the Empire's forces were in disarray. General Tharn's calm, confident demeanor had given way to frustration and panic. He knew that if they didn't regain control quickly, they would lose everything they had fought for. On the command bridge of the Empire's remaining flagship, Tharn slammed his fist on the control panel. "Reinforce all defenses! We can't let them destroy us completely." His officers scrambled to comply. The remaining warships quickly formed a tight formation around the flagship, their shields glowing brightly as they prepared for the final push. The Empire's fighters regrouped, ready to defend their battered fleet with everything they had left. The once proud fleet now looked more like a desperate, cornered animal. Meanwhile, Commander Rhea and her crew on the Supercarrier were preparing for the final assault. The massive ship had taken some damage, but its advanced systems were still operational. Rhea knew that the Empire's remaining forces would fight fiercely, but Earth had the advantage of surprise and firepower. "Prepare for the final push," Rhea ordered. "Target their flagship and the remaining warships. Let's end this." The Supercarrier's guns swiveled into position, their targeting systems locking onto the enemy's remaining ships. On the battlefield, Earth's drones and fighter jets continued to clash with the Empire's forces, creating a chaotic dance of fire and explosions. As the Supercarrier's weapons charged, Tharn issued his final orders. "Launch all remaining fighters! We must protect the flagship at all costs." The remaining Empire fighters streaked toward the Supercarrier, their weapons blazing. The fight in the sky became even more intense, with the Empire's desperate pilots throwing everything they had at Earth's forces. But the Supercarrier's drones and fighters were well coordinated and skilled, intercepting and destroying many of the enemy ships before they could reach their target. The Supercarrier's main guns fired once again, this time with all their might. The beams of energy cut through the darkness of space, targeting the Empire's flagship and the warships clustered around it. The enemy's shields flickered under the intense bombardment, struggling to hold against the relentless assault. Despite their best efforts, the Empire's defenses couldn't withstand the Supercarrier's firepower. The flagship's shields finally collapsed, and a massive energy beam struck the ship directly. The flagship's structure groaned and buckled under the assault before erupting in a spectacular explosion. The command ship was gone, leaving only debris floating in the void. With their flagship destroyed, the remaining Empire warships were left leaderless and disorganized. The Supercarrier's remaining attacks hit their targets with unerring precision, taking out the final warships one by one. The Galactic Empire's once formidable fleet was being systematically dismantled. General Tharn watched in horror as his fleet was reduced to wreckage. His final command was a desperate retreat. All remaining ships fall back. We can't win this battle. The surviving Empire ships turned and fled, their engines flaring as they sped away from Earth. The once threatening fleet was now a scattering of broken vessels trying to escape the relentless assault of the Supercarrier. As the Empire's forces retreated, Earth's forces cheered. The battle had been hard fought, but the tide had turned. Commander Rhea and her crew watched as the last of the Empire's ships disappeared into the distance. Earth had won this battle, but everyone knew that the war was far from over. The Supercarrier had proven its might, and the Galactic Empire had learned a harsh lesson. Earth was not to be underestimated. As the Galactic Empire's fleet retreated, the battle above Earth was winding down. The skies were filled with debris and the remnants of destroyed ships, but the Supercarrier remained a powerful presence. On the surface, Earth's leaders were celebrating their unexpected victory, but Commander Rhea and her team knew that this was just the beginning. Earth had to ensure that the Empire did not return with even greater force. In a secret bunker beneath the Supercarrier's bridge, high-ranking officials and military strategists gathered. The mood was cautious optimism. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. They needed a plan to keep the Galactic Empire from making a comeback. "We have shown them our strength," Rhea said to the group, "but we need to be smart about our next steps. We can't just wait for them to regroup and come back stronger." General Patel, one of Earth's top strategists, nodded in agreement. "We need to make sure they know we're prepared for anything. We need to use their own tactics against them. If we can create the illusion of more strength and resources, we might deter them from returning." The team quickly got to work, devising a plan to deceive the Galactic Empire into thinking Earth had even more powerful weapons and defenses than they actually did. They decided to use a combination of advanced technology and psychological tactics. First, they prepared a series of fake military bases and ships, equipped with holographic projectors that made them appear real. These decoys would be scattered around Earth and its space defenses. The idea was to make the Empire believe that Earth had far more military strength than it actually did. In addition to the physical decoys, Earth's communications and media teams began broadcasting misinformation. They sent out false reports and images of new, powerful weapons being deployed and large-scale military maneuvers. The goal was to make the Galactic Empire believe that Earth was preparing for a much larger confrontation. As these deceptions went into effect, the Supercarrier continued to patrol Earth's orbit, ready to defend against any new threats. Commander Rhea knew that while their tactics were clever, they needed to stay vigilant. The Galactic Empire might be smart and determined, and they might eventually see through the ruse. On the other side of the galaxy, General Tharn and his remaining officers were regrouping. They were furious and embarrassed by their defeat. The Galactic Empire's leadership was demanding answers. Their failure to conquer Earth had significant consequences, and they needed a new plan. When the Empire's scouts reported back, they were met with a confusing and intimidating sight. The reports showed that Earth had vastly increased its military presence, with hundreds of new ships and advanced weapon systems. The Empire's leaders were hesitant to make another move, unsure if the new data was accurate or part of Earth's clever deception. The Galactic Empire's command room was filled with tension as the leaders debated their next steps. "If this is true, Earth has become a serious threat," one of the commanders said. "We need to be cautious." Tharn, still reeling from the previous defeat, suggested a more cautious approach. "We should gather more intelligence before making any further decisions. Let's avoid another disastrous confrontation until we're sure of their capabilities." Back on Earth, the deception was working. The Galactic Empire's forces hesitated, unable to decide on their next move. The clever strategy had bought Earth precious time and avoided immediate further conflict. Commander Rhea and her team watched as the Empire's fleet stayed at a safe distance, clearly unsure of how to proceed. The deception had worked, but Rhea knew they couldn't relax. The Empire would eventually adapt, and Earth needed to stay prepared for whatever came next. For now, Earth had gained a critical advantage through clever strategy and deception, proving that brains could be as powerful as brawn in the fight against a formidable enemy. The Galactic Empire was in chaos. The unexpected defeat at Earth had shaken the Empire to its core. The once unstoppable force was now grappling with a sense of disbelief and fear. General Tharn and the High Command struggled to come to terms with their failure and the sudden shift in their plans. In the heart of the Empire's command center, the mood was grim. The room was filled with high-ranking officials, all facing a giant screen showing images of Earth's supposedly increased military presence. The decoy ships and bases, though fake, were convincing enough to make the Empire's leaders wary. "This can't be right," General Tharn muttered, staring at the screen. "Earth cannot have assembled such a large fleet so quickly." Admiral Cora, a senior officer known for her tactical acumen, tried to offer some clarity. "We've received multiple reports from our scouts confirming the increased military presence. If this is not true, it's a well-orchestrated deception designed to scare us off." The Empire's supreme commander, a stern figure with a reputation for ruthless efficiency, stood at the front of the room. "We need to understand what we're dealing with. If Earth has this much power, it changes everything. But if this is a bluff, we need to be cautious not to overreact." The tension in the room was palpable. Many of the officers were nervous, having witnessed the Supercarrier's devastating power firsthand. The thought of facing such a formidable opponent again made them uneasy. The Empire's once proud fleet had been humiliated, and now their confidence was shaken. "We can't afford to make another mistake," the Supreme Commander continued. "Send out more reconnaissance missions. We need accurate information on Earth's capabilities and intentions." As the Empire's intelligence units scrambled to gather more data, the mood among the lower ranks was even more frantic. The soldiers and pilots who had fought in the battle were whispering in the halls, exchanging worried glances and discussing the implications of their defeat. In a smaller room within the command center, a group of engineers and scientists worked frantically. They were tasked with analyzing the Supercarrier's technology and developing countermeasures. Their days and nights were consumed with trying to understand the advanced weaponry and defenses that had turned the tide against them. One of the engineers, Dr. Harlan, shook his head in frustration. "We've never seen technology like this before. It's beyond anything in our database. We need more time to figure out how to counter it." The panic spread beyond the command center. The Empire's propaganda machines were working overtime, trying to spin the defeat into a minor setback and reassure the public. But the fear was spreading through the ranks. Stories of Earth's newfound strength were becoming the topic of conversation in every corner of the galaxy. Meanwhile, Earth's leadership watched the Empire's reaction with a mixture of satisfaction and concern. The deception had successfully caused panic and hesitation among their enemies. But Commander Rhea knew that the Empire wouldn't stay in a state of confusion forever. They would eventually adapt and return with renewed determination. In a briefing room on the Supercarrier, Rhea and her top advisors reviewed the latest reports. "The Empire is clearly rattled," Rhea said. "Our deception has worked, but we must remain vigilant. They will regroup and come back stronger if we don't stay ahead of them." Her advisors nodded in agreement. The battle had been a victory, but the war was still ongoing. Earth had managed to throw the Empire into disarray, but the real challenge lay in maintaining their advantage and preparing for whatever came next. As the Galactic Empire continued to grapple with its fear and confusion, Earth's leaders knew that their clever strategy had bought them time. But time was a double-edged sword. They needed to use it wisely to prepare for the next inevitable clash with their powerful adversaries. The tension on Earth was palpable as leaders and military strategists gathered to finalize their next move. The victory over the Galactic Empire had been significant, but Earth's leaders knew that their message needed to reach beyond their own planet. They had to make sure the entire galaxy understood the power and resolve of humanity. It was time for Earth to send a clear and unmistakable warning to every corner of space. In the command center of the Supercarrier, Commander Rhea addressed a room full of high-ranking officials and communication experts. The mood was serious, and the air was filled with anticipation. The plan was to broadcast a message across the galaxy, using every possible communication channel available. "We've proven ourselves capable of defending against one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy," Rhea began. "Now it's time to make sure everyone knows we're not to be underestimated. We need to send a message that Earth is not just a place to be conquered, but a force to be reckoned with." The communications team had prepared a powerful transmission, designed to reach every inhabited world and spacefaring civilization. It would be a mix of live broadcast and recorded footage, showcasing Earth's strength and determination. The Supercarrier, with its advanced technology, would serve as the central hub for this message. As the transmission began, a broadcast signal rippled through space, cutting through the vast distances between planets and stars. The message started with dramatic footage of the recent battle, showing the Supercarrier in action and the destruction of the Empire's fleet. The images were stark and powerful, designed to capture the attention of anyone who saw them. The screen then cut to Commander Rhea standing in front of the Supercarrier's massive control panel. Her face was serious, but her voice was calm and confident. "To all civilizations and empires across the galaxy," she began, "this is Earth. We have faced the might of the Galactic Empire and emerged victorious. We have shown that we are not a weak, defenseless planet, but a strong and determined people." The message continued with a display of Earth's capabilities, including images of the Supercarrier's advanced technology and the strategic planning behind their victory. The broadcast emphasized that Earth had not only defended itself, but had also strategically planned to protect its future. "We do not seek conflict," Rhea's voice continued, "but we will not hesitate to defend ourselves if provoked. Our victory against the Empire is a testament to our strength and unity. We are a planet of warriors, scientists, and innovators. We are ready to protect our home and our people against any threat." The transmission included a direct warning to any potential aggressors. "Let this be a clear message to anyone considering challenging us. Earth will not be easily conquered. We stand ready to defend our world and our people against any force that dares to threaten us." The final part of the message was a call for peace and cooperation. "We hope for peace and mutual respect between our world and the others in this galaxy. But remember, any attempt to undermine our sovereignty will be met with strong resistance." As the broadcast ended, the communications team monitored the reactions across various galactic channels. Messages and responses began flooding in from different worlds, each reflecting a mix of awe, curiosity, and apprehension. Earth's warning had been received loud and clear. Back on Earth, the mood was a mix of relief and resolve. The message had been sent, and the galaxy had been put on notice. The victory over the Galactic Empire had not only secured Earth's immediate safety, but had also established humanity's place in the galaxy as a powerful and determined force. Commander Rhea and her team knew that the message was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and new challenges would surely arise. But for now, Earth had made its stance clear. It was a planet ready to stand firm and defend itself against any threat.